Hello and welcome to Linux Unix Single User System video tutorial. Today we will be covering how to manage file permissions and ownership. Our learning outcomes are creating a private and public directory, symbolic numeric permission representations, chmod commands, creating a file as a normal user in directories, and knowing virtual terminal. Giving permission is like giving authorization or allow someone to have or do what they want. It can also be the opposite. Linux is often used as a multi-user system, and it is not desirable that all users have access to all files and directories. Symbolic representation. In addition, for one to better understand file permissions, let's take a look at the three different levels for a directory. The U is for user, the person who mostly created a file or a directory. The G is for group, to which the member of the owner of a file or directory belongs. And the O is for other, a user that is not in a group. Moreover, for granting permissions, there are three levels of security for a file. As indicated in the permissions, the R is for read permission, W is for write permissions, and X is for executing permissions. Creating a private and a public directory. To create a private and public directory, let's start by opening the terminal window and switch to root user and enter your password. Now let's create the /file/directory by entering make dir space /files and press enter. Now let's create the /file/directory by entering make dir files and press enter. After doing so, enter cd/files to change to the file directory. Now enter make dir private public, and this will create a private and a public subdirectories under /files/ and press enter. To verify the changes, enter ls-l. As you can see, private and public directory was created. These are their permissions, and the owner is root. This is the date and the time that it was created. Type exit to exit and press enter. Creating a file as a normal user in directories. Now let's create a file as a normal user in Virtual Terminal 3. To do so, press and hold Ctrl-Alt while you hit the F3 key. Enter your login and your password. Virtual Terminal. As a reminder, the virtual terminal are similar to a command line. They are used for executing commands and offering inputs. The only difference is that you cannot use the mouse with the virtual terminal. Therefore, you need to know the keyboard shortcuts. Virtual terminal shortcuts. These are some of the shortcuts that you should be aware of while working on the virtual terminal. Home or Ctrl+A will move the cursor to the start of the current line, and or Control plus E will move the cursor to the end of the current line. Tab will autocomplete commands. Control plus U will erase the current line. Control plus W will delete the word before the cursor. Control plus K will delete the line from the cursor position to the end. Reset will reset the terminal. History will list the commands executed by the user. Arrow up will scroll up in the history and enter to execute. Arrow down will scroll down in the history and enter to execute. Control plus D will log out the terminal. And Control plus All plus delete will reboot the system. Now enter cd/files to switch to the file directories. Create a file named Eve in the public directory by entering touch space public/Eve and press enter. And to verify, use the ls-l command. Notice that the groups, users, and other have only read permissions for the files. Moreover, let's change the permissions so that the group user have write permissions and other does not have any permission. Now enter ls to verify the change of permission and press cltd or exit to log out as Eve. Let's take a look at some examples of numeric chmod commands and their output when used in the command line. Chmod 400 protects file against accidental overwriting. Chmod 600 file is a private file only changeable by the user who entered this command. Chmod 775 file, standard file sharing mode for a group. Chmod 777, everybody can do everything to this file. And chmod 705 protects the file against any access from other users, while the issuer still has full access. Finally, hold Ctrl Alt while you hit F7 to return to your desktop and close the terminal. To conclude our learning outcomes, we are able to create a private and public directory, understanding symbolic numeric file permissions, knowing chmod commands, create a file as a normal user in directories, and understanding virtual terminal. Thank you for taking the time to watch this educational video.